You have no choices left, only the inevitable. Someone said that once. And early CODM, it ran on the exact same philosophy. You bought the most expensive gun in CODM. Congratulations. It still does not make you unbeatable. But back in 2019 and 2020, it actually did. Because back then, if you did not pay, you literally had no choices left, only the inevitable loss. And that is exactly what we need to talk about today. This is not just a rant about pay to win. This is the full story. How CODM went from locking weapons behind a paywall to one of the most balanced periods in its entire history, and then slowly sliding back into old habits. If you play CODM right now, this directly affects you. So stick around. November 6, 2020, CODM's first red tier gun dropped, the Fennec Pulse Force, and it caused a massive uproar in the community. At the time, it had the most insane damage output of any SMG, and it came with a clean floating iron sight. From that moment, the pay-to-win debate exploded. But here is what most people do not know. CODM had already been down this road long before the Fennec ever existed. November 18, 2019, CODM launched the very first beta server in its entire history. Inside that beta server, players were handed COD points to test out a brand new weapon, the Pharaoh Dream Crystal, CODM's first ever orange gun, dynamic effects, special kill effects, the whole package. And on January 1st, 2020, it went live. Players could only get it one way, by paying. No grind, no events, just your wallet. So how broken was this thing actually? The Pharaoh is a burst-fire SMG, fires 4 rounds per trigger pull. You only needed 3 hits anywhere on the body to kill someone within 10 meters. The damage was so high, it even gave you room for error. Slap on an extended mag, you are running 36 rounds. Equip a vertical grip plus a submachine gun stock, and you have maxed out stability and mobility at the same time. Pharaoh's dominance ran from January 1st to June 10th, 2020. That is over 5 months, making it one of only 2 SMGs in CODM history, with the longest dominator period ever recorded. And before May 1st, 2020, there was absolutely no free way to get it. This is CODM's first confirmed paid exclusive weapon. But wait, if you could not afford Pharaoh, what were your options? During CODM's drought period for SMGs, your only real option was to switch to rifles, but do not expect a fair fight. Because your opponents were using CODM's first all-range rifle, the HBRA3. Before June 12, 2020, there was no free path to this weapon either. You could only pull it from the Year of the Rat exclusive Dragon Dance Roulette during Lunar New Year. This one weapon dominated top ranks for almost 3 straight months. If you were on the Garena version back then, you probably remember this equation that went around the community. A K117 plus Type 25 equals HBRA3. That one line tells you everything about how powerful it was. 2 free guns combined still could not match 1 paid weapon. And the old purple blueprint system quietly made it worse. Purple tier guns had a built-in 10% range boost baked in. Consistent 4-shot kills within 25 meters against players using basic free weapons. There were a few other paid exclusives in this era worth knowing about. The Man-O-War, CODM's first 3-shot kill assault rifle. Insanely fast time to kill. But it never dominated the meta because high fire rate rifles were everywhere. And then there was the Razorback. The community nicknamed it the possessed weapon. Its stats were copied directly from the PDW-57. Even the AK-47 struggled against it at close range. Now here is where it gets interesting. CODM did not invent this model. The paid exclusive weapon system started in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. In 2013, players who bought DLC 1 Revolution got access to the Peacekeeper MK1 SMG. First paid exclusive weapon in COD history. No DLC, no gun. In Advanced Warfare, 4 separate weapon packs were sold. The AE-4 assault rifle, the ONLMG that could switch between machine gun and shotgun, the M1 Irons revolver, and the EM1 laser weapon. CODM followed the same blueprint, just moved it inside loot box systems. And honestly, this model had already been standard practice across the franchise for 6 years before CODM even launched. It was not until Modern Warfare 2019 that the franchise shifted away from paid exclusive weapons and started selling gun skins instead. Understanding the history does not make it right, but it does explain why early CODM went this direction. As August 13, 2020 approached, something started to change. Seasons 4, 5, and 6 of 2020 quietly made Pharaoh, Man-O-War, and HBRA3, all earnable through gameplay. Pharaoh was locked behind seasonal challenges. The grind was brutal, but at least it was there. Man-O-War's Industrial Revolution blueprint required hitting Master 1 in Ranked. HBRA3's Bloody Skull required Elite 1. And because of this shift, Seasons 4 through 6 of 2020 gave us the most balanced period in CODM's history. Over the last 7 years, no paid power advantage in place, new guns like the QQ9 and DRH were strong, but not broken. They actually fit the weapon balance system the way they were supposed to. Then, on August 13th, 2020, the gunsmith overhaul dropped, and CODM officially removed the paid exclusive system. Loot boxes stayed, but what was inside them changed completely. No more exclusive weapons, just cosmetics. Which brings us back to November 6th, 2020. The Fennec Pulse Force, CODM's first red tier skin, first floating iron sight blueprint. This was not an accident. The dev team found their new pay hook, premium skins with iron sights that look completely different from the default version. So is that pay to win? Here's how you actually break that down. The key to proving a game is pay to win comes down to one thing. What exactly are you paying for? In CODM's early era, you bought loot boxes not for the looks. You bought them because there was literally no other way to get those weapons. And on top of that, those paid weapons had to be the strongest in the game to justify the price. Pharaoh and HBRA3 are the clearest examples. That era, without question, was pay to win. A lot of veterans point to the old weapon tier system as proof, but that argument falls apart fast. If it was purely stat-based, how do you explain a blue gun beating an epic one? The pay was not for hidden stats. It was for the exclusive weapons themselves. After the gunsmith update, that argument no longer applies. All weapons became earnable. The playing field leveled out. But there is still something there. You can still buy a blueprint with a noticeably better iron sight, which effectively saves you an attachment slot. Some blueprints also come with slightly better stability than the default version. We call this pay for edge. It is not pay to win, but it is not zero either. Paying players do get a small advantage, and being honest about that matters. Above that, there is pay for cosmetic, exclusive animations, visual effects, artwork. Zero stat difference. That is the cleanest model there is. The one thing that has always been a problem in CODM, artificially inflating weapon stats just to push skin sales. That is, without a doubt, unhealthy. Even if it does not fully count as pay for edge, it absolutely messes with player mindset, and it damages trust over time. What CODM needs to do is keep pushing its model in the right direction. Within the next 2 to 3 years, gradually move toward a cosmetics-only system. That is already the direction CODHQ is heading. If iron sights are going to be different, keep the changes small. Do not make them extreme enough that players feel forced to skip an entire attachment slot just to compete. And about the ongoing abnormal recoil controversy. Hopefully, the second-generation animation system updates will sort that out over time. You came here looking for answers, and now you have them. CODM was pay to win. It is not a theory. It is not a debate. It is history. The question is not whether it happened. The question is, what happens next? Because the moment a game starts selling power instead of cosmetics, the players always lose. Every single time. So watch carefully. Pay attention to what they sell you, and what they take away from you in return. Because in this game, the house always has a plan, and you are part of it, whether you know it or not. If this video opened your eyes even a little, drop a like. It is free. Unlike those weapons, we will see you in the next one.